This is Hot Mic.
Hot Mic.
On the networks of WDAY.
WDAY.
Here's Dom Izzo.
Welcome back, everybody. Hour 2 on a Friday morning, ready to rock and roll. The sun's out. What are we doing inside? Masters is going on, although that's probably the reason why we're inside, so we can watch what's going on. But no shortage of golf yet. We have plenty of golf talk this week. I don't care. Weather's nice. The Masters is going on. We had Elise Hoven from NDSU yesterday who won her second tournament of the year. Bison are trending in the right direction for the Summit League Championship, which is in Arizona a week from Sunday. And we're not that far away from another year of the Red River Amateur Championship at Moorhead Country Club. You'll see it again here on WDAY Extra. That's my one time a year I have to get my golf voice ready as Chris Howell joins us here in studio. Moorhead Country Club head pro. Goose, what's going on, bud? It's great to see you.
It's great to be back. Well, it's never a bad time to talk golf,
Never,
right?
man,
But
no.
it's kind of extra special when you get to do it over the Masters week. So the greatest bit of technology ever compiled with the Masters app is my phone is out of
Pretty
battery
good
right now.
Now, the TV nerd in me, though, I'm still clamoring, like, why do we have to wait till 2 o'clock for actual television? Come on. I can watch every shot of every other tournament except the Masters.
I wonder with their partners, if whoever developed the platforms, like, we want to put all eyes into our app. That way people aren't.
Which is great. I mean, you can still stream it,
Yep.
but, man, I wanted...
Full broadcast. Let's just start. Wake up at 6.
Right?
On the range
let's
into
go.
full broadcast with that first tee shot.
We're following our guy, Tom Hoagie, which he's playing pretty well, actually, now. He made back-to-back birdies. He's getting ready for Amen Corner coming up here, but he's back to 1 under for the tournament. So, you par in, which is hard to do, but you're playing the weekend.
Yeah, and
in Augusta.
And they're talking the wind's supposed to pick up this afternoon,
So the
so
scores
numbers
might be-
might go up. So if he gets in the house at 1 under and maybe sneaks in one more birdie, he's going to be within a few shots of the lead, I would imagine.
The form he was playing, Goose, he tied for 3rd at the Players, 5th last week at the Valero. He was trending in the right direction to have a good weekend here.
Agreed. And I think, is he finally getting to the point where he's been to all these places enough, right? All these golf courses where you're starting to get some of the nuance of each place. And,
Certainly
and understand where to
Sawgrass.
hit
Like
it.
Sawgrass, that's a super tough. You can speak more than I can. How difficult that place is. He's got the course record there.
Yeah. So I think he's starting to figure out how to play each golf course, which will just be a testament to how he plays.
Let's chat about your golf course here. I know everybody's probably banging on your door like, hey, what are we doing? How's it looking at MCC?
We were pretty okay. The phone was kind of staying quiet, but then the Moorhead Publix announced that they were going to be opening ranges and golf courses this weekend. So now the phone's a little busy. When are we going? When are we going? When are we going? We actually haven't put a date down yet, but I would have to imagine with public courses opening and the weather forecast for next week, it'll be mid to late week next week.
Well, we were visiting off air that you were trending this time 2 weeks ago. I know the Bison baseball team was playing at Newman Outdoor Field.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, it's at the end of March that you're probably trending like, okay, we can open up soon, and thank goodness you didn't.
Totally. We were, course was dry, firming up. That's kind of the biggest deal. Ground temps were coming up, and then that monster heavy wet snow, and we're finally getting dried out again after that, but there still might be 1 or 2 more days to completely dry out the golf course.
So, for people that don't know, and I'll put myself in that category, had you opened and then what happened, what would have happened to the course in your best guess?
I don't think we would have had any damage to it because we would have been playing outside of that window. The issue you have when you open, you get everybody all excited. They come out and play, and then you get this crappy weather and shut it down. Well, now people have got their early itch kind of scratched. Well, we'll wait until the weather definitely gets good. And then we lose them for a couple of weeks because they don't want to play in 50 degrees anymore.
So imminent, though, probably this time next week, you think?
I would think so this time next week.
How did from what you've looked at, how did things go through we had a really mild winter again. How did the course come through that?
Talking to our superintendent, Ryan Ingalls, it sounds like it came out really well. Greens look healthy, tees look healthy, fairways look healthy. And those are the things you worry about is winter kill and then like snow mold voles. It sounds like that was all pretty minimal. So we should be in a good spot.
So for a course like that, and especially the members who, how much they love that place, is that something where you gotta just okay, it's coming. You gotta play like you're necessarily a bad cop this next couple days.
A little bit. most of our membership's pretty patient. And they
Yeah.
understand, like, we're waiting until the golf course to be in a good spot, in good shape, because we're not trying to chase that $40 green fee from everybody to try to make our budget.
Yeah.
So everything's, paid for up front at the beginning of the year with dues, so nobody's as gung-ho to jump out there.
It's unless they see a day like today, the weather like this, and the Masters going like, well, come on now. I'm ready to
Yeah.
go, right? I wanted to show a little bit of video from yesterday from down at Augusta, just for you as a professional to see some of these shots, either good or bad, from the first round yesterday is just remarkable to me, where these guys are the best. And a course like this, where either it can make you look great or you can look really silly, depending on a
Yes.
particular hole
Yes,
where you put
can.
it, right?
Yep.
Have you been down there?
I've never been down
Yeah.
there. Want to,
Oh.
bad. Kids are kind of at that wrong age for me to
Yeah.
take a trip, and
Yeah.
then I would kind of have to need a little more snow on the ground this time of year to sneak down there.
Yeah, I don't know if that would look great if you're
No.
there and the course is
Yeah, it would
open
probably
in
not be good.
Augusta. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from yesterday of the first. Justin Rose was amazing. I mean, his game is just suited to. He should win all the time, right?
He should.
Right?
He should. There's no chink in his armor.
Yeah.
He drives it well. He hits his irons well. He chips and putts it well. But yeah, I guess
I
they
mean,
were-
yeah, and yesterday he's out there, and you could see. I mean, he's just blistering the course. I mean, he shot 65. He bogeyed the 18th, or he
Right,
had 64.
he's just pouring it in. He putted so well yesterday.
Scheffler is another one who seems like a robot to me. Like you could set him to 65, and he goes out and does it.
Yeah. So watching this morning some recap, and one of the things I think the broadcast said the best is he just hits it where he has to hit it and never takes on anything he shouldn't take on. So like he hit it over the green on 15, and then he hit it 15 feet away from the hole because he's not making bogey. He's not making a big number.
And then he makes like a 80-footer
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
And just like, okay, if I'm a competitor with him, like I just throw my hands up. Okay, great. Awesome. But then this happens. Like Rory's got all the attention, Goose. And then this is how unfair the game is. And Hoagie had something happen to him yesterday. He hit the wall in the water in the same hole.
Yep. So I think some of this, right, is maybe a mental error on Rory's part, playing well, getting a little too aggressive with the shot, and didn't execute it exactly how he wanted, right? He should have been trying to leave that ball
Way
10,
short,
15
right?
feet above the hole,
Yeah.
or even hitting away from it to take some of that hill out. Kind of like Scotty did on that hole. He hit it away from the
Yeah.
hole into the hill and made sure, I'm going to make par, I'm going to get out of here. If I accidentally make birdie, great.
Yeah, because he gave away a shot at 17 as well, because he was cruising at 4, and then he ends up shooting 72 yesterday.
Bogey, doubled 15, doubled 17.
And that's
shocker.
Yeah, that you just don't expect that. For those are the two quote unquote easier holes
Right.
on the golf course,
Agreed.
right?
Yep.
That's
From
just
the second best player in the world.
right. How much are you do you cheer like when you watch this? Are you looking for? I just want to see great shots, or do you want to see a great story come Sunday night?
We got both.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the Rory story would be awesome. Him winning
Grand
this
Slam,
year
yeah,
and getting the Grand
unbelievable.
Slam would put him in a pretty small group of players. It'd be really cool.
The part to me when I watch, like, I like this. It's like with team sports, like the Chiefs. Like, all right, enough. Like, great. I appreciate their greatness. It's the same with Scheffler. Like, I appreciate his greatness. I'd like to see somebody else
Yep.
win it when we
Yep.
get to Sunday, though. But if he's at the top of the leaderboard, like, okay, you can probably turn it off at 5 o'clock. You know he's going to win.
You probably
right?
could, because he's not going to falter down the stretch. He's not going to make a mistake
No.
down the stretch at all.
That's the fun part. And I can remember growing up watching this event is that, it used to be it didn't come on to like 3 o'clock. You only got the
Yeah.
final 9
Yeah.
holes.
Yeah.
Think about that now. Like, you only got to watch the back 9. It's just wild, right?
Yeah, they'd give you the entire rest of the golf tournament in about 7 minutes,
Yeah.
and then you'd start watching the back 9.
It's unlike any other. And that's why I think the time of year it happens and what it's about, I think that makes it unlike almost any other sporting event that at least I like to follow that you pay attention to.
Yeah, the tradition's incredible. And then for anybody that has been down, you hear the stories of how fantastic the service
Yeah.
is, how they keep costs down for the patrons. Just unique, right? They're not gouging anybody. They just want everybody to have a great experience.
I want to talk Red River Ram in our next segment if you've got time.
Yeah, I got time.
The love of golf for you. I know your dad obviously loved every sport.
Yeah.
Was he was I don't know if I ever talked golf with him ever. Was that something he enjoyed?
He did. We played a lot
Yeah.
over, weekends, evenings in the summertime. We played a lot of golf. He was a decent player once upon a time, could break 80, could get it on the golf
Nice.
course.
I had no idea.
He was an athlete.
Yeah.
And he was more of a competitor than he was an athlete, right? I fondly remember the first time I finally beat him playing golf.
Yeah.
So growing up in Lisbon, 9-hole golf course. This time I did not beat him. This is the story leading up to when I finally beat him. I am 1 up going into the 9th hole. We're just playing a 9-hole game. I hit it around the corner up by the green. I have like a 20-yard pitch shot. He hits it out to the middle of the fairway, 150 yards. It's like, I got him. It's over. It's done. I finally beat him. I got 20 yards to get up and down for birdie, par at worst. He holes it from 150 yards, makes 2. I fail to get up and down for birdie, lose by 1.
Wow.
But then that was the last time he beat me. He turned it on one last time.
How old were you then?
I was 15.
Wow.
Yep, going into my
So when he
sophomore
makes that shot, like, what do you just throw your arms up?
Yeah, I was done. I was lucky I made better than 6 on that hole after that.
Was golf always number one for you? Or was there another sport you loved?
Baseball was always my favorite sport growing up.
Yeah.
I loved playing baseball.
When did golf take over as the lead sport for you?
Probably like 15 to 16 years old. My 2 best friends played golf. You'd wake up, you'd go out to the golf course, you'd spend your entire day there, and then you'd go home when it was dark. It was like sun up to sundown, and that's what we did outside of baseball practice, right? You'd take your 2.5-hour break, go to baseball practice or game. Otherwise, we were playing golf.
I'm going to get you in trouble. What's your favorite small town North Dakota golf course that you play?
I mean, it's got to be Lisbon.
Is Lisbon?
Bissell.
Yeah.
Lisbon Bissell.
Yeah.
But from what, the Class B circuit growing up, that's all we did was play 9-hole golf
Right.
courses. Mayville has a fantastic 9-hole golf course, still does. Leonard
I was going to say, Cottonwood's pretty good,
west
right?
of town, yeah. Leonard, Cottonwood.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really good 9-hole golf courses around here that people don't realize how much fun they are.
I tend like 9 holes that's my sweet spot there. Yeah, it gets me out. I get my fix, and then I'm not as frustrated as I would be if I play 18.
9 is a good number. I actually think the folks at Osgood figured out when they did 12. Right?
Yeah,
You get a little more than 9.
Yeah.
12 is actually a really, really good number of holes.
Yeah, that's about the right number.
Yep.
Like, it gets my fix. I haven't lost that many balls
Yeah.
yet, and I'm like, okay, I'm good I can go home.
Yeah.
The thing to me, Goose, and you're around it, there's obviously numerous issues with the game. I don't want to dive too much into the professional part of it. The pace of play is one that always is interesting to me. You're out there. What do you guys do at MCC to make sure we're moving people along?
We're pretty lucky that our pace of play.
That's not an issue.
There's times there's a few times where like our Thursday afternoons, men's days can get slow, and our sometimes our mid morning Saturday Sundays can get slow where we start to creep at that 4 or a little over. So it's all of our carts are GPS monitored, so I can be following along and find the group, and then usually just got to go out and talk to them and say we got to either
Get going.
We got to catch up to the group behind us. We got to skip a hole. We got to do anything to catch up to that group in front of you.
What is, in your opinion, then, what is the biggest issue, I guess, on your level for what you're tackling on a day-to-day basis?
Probably education. As we continue to see golf grow, there's a lot of new people to the game that don't fully understand all of those nuances and etiquette that come with golf of the people that have been playing it for 30, 40 years. I was just trying to remind people that you're 10 to 15 minutes per hole. Keep up with the group in front of you.
Got a couple minutes to look for a ball, and then, hey, let's go, right?
I'm ahead of the group behind me. Well, yeah, of course you're going to be. It's the group in front of you. You have to stay
in pace with, right?
Not the one behind you.
Yeah. Are you seeing on the youth circuit, and this kind of ties into our next segment about the River Ram, of the turnout for that? Because I can remember 10 years ago how it was booming. I mean, there were a ton of young people going out and playing golf. Is it still the case for what you've seen?
It is. We had like 120 kids in our junior golf program.
Wow.
We got 80 registered already this year, so we'll probably be greater than that. Talking to the other pros around town, their junior golf programs are full. So
I am interested though. Last thing before we go to break, in the winter months for a head pro,
Yeah.
what are you doing on a day-to-day basis?
So we have simulators. So we do some winter lesson programming. We do a league, and then it's just kind of doing all the non-fun stuff, right? It's the staffing stuff.
Yeah.
It's the budget. It's the ordering for the next year. But thankfully, it's not high demand where I have to be there like I am in the summer. We can go back to about
Right.
30 hours a week
Okay.
and accomplish all the tasks.
Like in the summer, you're there from what 5 a.m. to.
I don't have to get there quite
No,
that
no,
early.
okay.
I'm
Oh, come on! I
us-
was giving you.
Yeah.
Giving you a break. Like 6
I'm usually
a.m.?
there like 7,
Okay.
7:30.
Okay.
And then depending, it's
Yeah.
about the same time at night.
How often you actually get to play though, especially in the summer? Do you get a chance to get out and play? I always ask Mac this, all the Greg McCullough all the time, that very rarely he gets to play.
I probably played 12, 14 times last year.
No,
So every other week.
that's crazy.
Yep.
That's just the.
And a lot of 9-hole rounds.
Yeah,
golf.
I was going to go. Right. Let's break. We come back. We're going to talk about our 5th consecutive year of airing the Red River Amateur coming up in the middle of June over at Moorhead Country Club. Back on WDAY Extra. We'll do that. Goose Howell joining us here in studio on a Friday morning. We're back right after this. Welcome back, everybody. Back on this Friday morning. Chris Howell, Moorhead Country Club, joining us here in studio. Our guy Tom Hoagie has parred the 10th hole, Goose, so he's going to Amen Corner, still at 1 under. You get through that, even par, then you let her rip for the final 5 holes,
yeah,
right?
let's get in the house a couple under
Yeah.
par here and make some noise.
Right now, he's in a tie for, 15th. He's actually moved up. He's moved up 15 spots since he's teed off. And he's only 1 under on the round.
Yeah.
So that kind of goes to what you're talking about conditions, right?
Yeah, it does. And it's kind of nice to see you don't have to scroll very far to find
Yeah,
his
right?
name on the leaderboard.
That's pretty quick on that. Again, many of the leaders are going later. Scheffler tees off. Of course, he's getting TV time. He goes at 12:30, so he'll be in that TV window, which starts at 2 o'clock. Speaking of TV, we're going to be back broadcasting the Red River Amateur Championship beginning on June the 20th at Moorhead Country Club for all 3 rounds. It'll be our 5th year of broadcasting it. Give us a little overview so far of what we were looking forward to coming up in June.
Yeah. Number one is just trying to grow the strength of the field, right? We've been full for the last 4 or 5 years now, kind of with this partnership, but the field continues to get deeper and deeper and deeper. When you look at the registration, almost everybody on there outside of maybe 5% have played college golf at some level.
Wow.
And then the other ones, you look at their resume locally and you're like, okay, maybe they didn't play college golf, but they were capable of playing college golf. So the field is strong and deep.
After seeing last year the two winners we had, and I know visiting with and Ben was such a popular champion, being a Moorhead guy, but the level of play, Goose, was just the word of mouth on this. And I remember talking to you about it 2 years ago when I was out there doing it for the first time, that it just keeps going, that more people from further away are saying, this is one I think we got to have on our schedule to come play it this year.
Yeah, turning it into a 3-day event, World Amateur Golf Ranking points, and those guys that want those points, look at what's out there, where can I play, how many points are available, how many points did this guy get for winning it last year? Like, I'm going to put that one on my calendar.
Yeah.
And then you get a guy like Ben Welly that wins it, local guy, and, I think he was all Big 12 a couple of times for Kansas, made a run at playing professionally, so it's kind of the caliber it takes to win this event now. And you look back at the past champions' history, there's a lot of guys that did play professional golf that are on, like Mike Morley and Tom Lehman and Bill Israelson. So
the women's side has been really impressive to me as well. Isabel Lynch won last year from St. Thomas, another Summit League golf. I mean, we saw that entire leaderboard was filled with golfers from the Summit League that people know around here, or certainly are going to know, that I imagine are going to be back again for another helping of this in June.
Yeah, St. Thomas is the whole team, I think, is signed up for the ladies
is that right?
already right now. A lot of St. Thomas guys too. But yeah, it's one of the first things I do is I email all the Summit League coaches to like put this one on your calendar. How can we help you out and make it so your teams want to come play?
How much have the members embraced this, knowing it's taken over 3 days at a really popular time of the year, that the course is going to be unavailable? But how much have they, I guess, embraced it is all I'll ask you on that.
Most do embrace it, yeah. They realize that it's good for Moorhead Country Club. We get to showcase our facility for 3 straight days on TV, which is great. And then we've really tried to push that atmosphere for not just our members, but all the fans around the area to come out and watch and hang out. And, golf can be fun even if you're not playing it. If you're out in the alley, maybe drinking an adult beverage and watching some golf, it's pretty fun to be out there.
The amount of people that actually were out, especially on Saturday about 5 o'clock and then Sunday down the stretch, like, wow, this has become a thing now for people to come out and watch. I was really impressed with that.
Logistically, I hope I don't have to figure that out with the car parking quite yet. I hope I have one more year. As you watch cars drive down Caddy Avenue and like the line of cars just keeps going and going and going. It's like, this might be an issue here eventually. It
was an issue for me, and I got there like before everybody. Like we're there an hour before we go on the air for TV. I'm like, wow, all right, people are here on Sunday.
It felt like almost every player playing had 2 to 6 people following.
Yeah,
right. They had their caddy, and then they had friends and family. There was a lot of spectators there last year.
What anything new you have planned? I know we're still a couple months out, but anything percolating for this year?
The one big one is we're going to do a second Jumbotron.
Wow, okay.
Up by the putting green, so those folks that don't want to make the venture to the alley, we can make like a second atmosphere.
Yeah.
Sit on that east deck and watch the Jumbotron and the putting green and the first tee. So should make that space a little more fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think just how you guys have handled this over the last couple of years, you make it a big deal. I think people then understand, well, it is a big deal. If you guys are going to make it so, and we certainly have tried to do that on our end on the television side of things, that because I'll tell you, Goose, and I'm not telling you because you're here, but the response that at least I got over the last couple of years, hey, that was fun. It was awesome to see it. What can you keep doing some different? We're trying some different innovations with it to help on that end to make it look as big time as it can.
Yeah, I mean, we taught Josh Rohr as part of our committee, which is nice to have him in there and lets us know what everybody's capable and who partners are, and we could add this and X, Y, Z, and then you make that just more tour-like, right? We're trying to create as much of a tour-like atmosphere as we can for the players.
You mentioned off-air to me, I don't know, I don't want to get you in trouble, but how many, what's your, I guess, cutoff for players on each side, what you're looking at here?
So the long-term goal is we'd like to get the ladies to 60 players. I don't know if we'll get there this year. We're at 27, I think, 28, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yep.
So pushing for 50 this year, and then the men's field will be 130.
Okay.
So long term, we'd like to go to 60, 120. I think that'd be a great balance on a number of players. But right now, the men's field's full, and we're full with a wait list and waiting to see who kind of signs up.
Okay.
Wait list is more almost sitting at an invitation list, like let's get some really good players.
Like
to
you're
sign
Augusta
up.
In your own right, then, huh?
I mean that's a
you
long-term,
want to be that, right?
That's a long-term goal of ours is to get to invite only.
Yeah.
When you look at the other big amateur events like the Western Amateur, they're all invitation only. And as we get more popular and we would be full and registration's only been out for a month, we maybe have to start doing some certain things to make sure we get the best players playing our event.
And I know for a lot of the headline golfers I've talked to, like, yep, Moorhead is on my list. That is definitely, I've got it saved. I'm making room for that. What does that mean to you when you hear that from some of the elite college golfers in our area?
I think it's pretty special to hear that, fortunate Ian Simonich is on my staff, and he tells us, like, our guys circle this one on the calendar. They want to play it, but they really, really want to win it.
They want to win it. I know he wants to win it.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things that tie him back into winning, but it's a pretty big feather in your cap to win this event.
I'm interested knowing what the course looks like. I mean, you imagine a time where you're turning people away. Like, I'm sure. Do you want to be at that spot? You know what? We'd love to have you, but this is where we're at.
Yeah, it's good and bad. You never want to. You never really want to turn anybody away. You want everybody that wants to be involved in it. But I can see it already getting to a point this year where we just can't have everybody that wants to play.
What's your low score at MCC? What's the lowest you shot?
My low score is 69.
Wow.
And it was fun because I was playing with. It was a few years ago. I was playing with a bunch of the NDSU guys. And
Okay.
I was the low guy that day too.
No kidding.
So, yeah.
Out there, then you're strutting around after that, right?
Yeah. I mean, I only had to finish eagle birdie to do it. But
okay, eagle at 17?
Yeah, I hold out for a 2 on 17.
There you go.
And then made like a 4 or 5 footer on 18.
There you go.
But yeah.
Any and you've established like you have traditional like pin placements, right?
We have
for
at least Sunday.
now? Yeah.
Sunday, we worked really hard at least down the stretch to have these spots where they're going to be on 18, 17, 16, 15, especially being in that bowl. I think for these good players is a lot of fun.
Or want to make your break every club in your bag with some of those ones.
But you think high level college golfer, amateur player, if they're laying up to 100 yards, they should be able to hit a wedge.
You would think
they should.
Yeah, correct.
But the whole 15 pressure
and the pressure that comes the pressure that comes with it. If you're near the top of the leaderboard, that's another deal. This was awesome, man. We'll do this again when we get closer to the event.
Sounds
we
good.
Can't wait to be back as partners again. I can't wait to be back out there doing it. My third time coming up in June. Enjoy the Masters weekend, all right, man?
You
Great
too.
to see you, okay?
You too.
Goose Howell, Chris Howell joining us here in studio. Moorhead head professional at the Moorhead Country Club joining us here to get us ready. The Red River Ram, June 20th through the 22nd. Also, I think coincides the longest days of the year, right?
We try to do that. Yep.
So
just in case anything comes up and we have to play super late into the night.
Anything comes up, it means Mother Nature, which we ran into a couple years ago. You were playing till like 10 o'clock at night a couple years ago, right?
Yeah, I was kind of talking to the players on, do you guys want to finish this hole or am I blowing the horn right now? And they like, let us go. Okay, horn goes now.
We gotta go. But like Hoagie a couple of weeks ago at the Players, he hit his approach shot at the 18th, and then they had a 4.5 hour delay. So he's sitting over a putt. I mean, what's that like? For
I don't even know.
And
how
that's
hard
for
that
like
would be.
$400, like $500,000. That's kind of riding on the line.
Yeah.
That is not a easy putt,
No.
man. Oh, yeah. Great to see you, man. Have a great
You
weekend,
too.
all right?
Thanks, Dom.
We'll break. We come back. We'll give you an update on how Tom's doing on the golf course, and you'll meet the newest Bison football commit that turned down 4 Power 4 schools. That's coming up when Hot Mike returns on this Friday morning. We're back right after this.